Hi, and welcome back to the 5th chapter of my book, Tips for New Grads to Succeed in the Workforce, available today on Amazon. Be your own boss. One of the biggest misconceptions of many recent grads and new hires is that since you are new, you are in no place to take the lead on any actions or decisions. You may fear that you cannot make recommendations on improvement because it is not in your place to do so. Well, I'm here to dispel that myth and give you the next piece of advice. Be your own boss. I'll explain what I mean by this in the coming sections, but do not interpret it as stating, do your own thing regardless of management. It's important to stay on course with where your managers want you to focus and to realize that as a new hire, you have a significant lack of experience compared to those in the industry. Nevertheless, having the confidence and mindset for improvement and success will help you and the business in the long term. So the first piece of being your own boss is having self-confidence. Self-confidence is one of the most important things you can do to give yourself, whether during an interview or day-to-day work. Begin trusting your own judgment and decisions and start to make them without consulting your manager or an expert on every action you take. When you present either in person or online, always do so with confidence, as you will project authority on the subject that others won't question. Confidence and your success is as much dependent on your mindset as it is your own execution. You need to believe in yourself and your ability to succeed and grow. If you doubt yourself, it will become readily apparent in your execution and delivery. One way to gain confidence is to gain knowledge and expertise about your work and tasks, so that you can become a respected subject matter expert in your field. This allows you to become reliable and dependable to take on high complex tasks that others would not be comfortable or knowledgeable enough to attempt. On the topic of comfort, don't be afraid to be bold and make data-driven recommendations to others, even if they're organizationally above you. Provide your point of view backed with data, e.g., we should change the process of X to Y to save Z. If someone senior or above you in an organization has a different idea, don't change your mind simply because they said so. Make sure you understand their side, and if you still differ, offer your opinion. Blindly following is another example of becoming a sheep in the herd. Be the person to offer new ideas. Don't feel that you cannot make a recommendation or your voice or opinion cannot be heard because you're just lower in the organization. At the same time, don't just argue for argument's sake. Make sure that you have the knowledge, experience, or data to support your claim. Realize that there have been others who have been facing the same issues you are now seeing far longer than you have, and as a result may bring a different perspective to their recommendations. Now, if you gain or acquire significant knowledge or expertise relative to your peers, make an effort not to be the smartest person in the room for too long. Always put yourself somewhere where you are slightly uncomfortable and as a result must push yourself to learn something new. This will ensure you continue to grow your talents and abilities and as a result become increasingly more valuable to the market and employer in the labor market as a whole. In the same regard, don't do things completely out of your interest or skill set. Remember, the key thing is to provide value, but enjoying it while you're doing so. My next tip on being your own boss is work as if you owned the company. Another key piece of advice and mindset to put yourself into while working is work as if you owned the company and work how you would want an employee to work if you owned the company. If this company were yours, you would be looking for opportunities across the business to improve process, products, and experiences. You would act in a way that positively reflected the brand, and you would make others want your product. You would work hard and go above and beyond every day because this is your company and you want it to succeed. Under that mindset of an owner, don't count on being micromanaged every moment by your boss. Take responsibility and have confidence to work on things and make decisions that you believe will benefit the company. Most likely, you will have a set of tasks assigned to you. Proactively look at your tasks and begin thinking about how you can optimize the work. Are there steps that can be better documented? Are there steps that can be automated or consolidated? Inefficient process is everywhere. Being able to identify it and make recommendations in your day-to-day work is a factor of your success. If you have free time, look within your organization to find what is missing or can be improved, to begin working towards improving those aspects. To differentiate yourself in a positive way, do not idly check your friend's Facebook status while waiting for something to be assigned to you. one of the easiest things to do if you have free time in the business is to make knowledge scalable. So in any company, time is valuable. So think of how you can automate or scale the transfer of knowledge you commonly encounter. For example, common technical videos or blogs create a scalable way to provide information to an audience. This book, this video, is a scalable way for me to get information to my audience. Your audience can be a customer who needs it to learn how a product or treatment works, or it can be an internal audience who needs to learn how to perform an internal business process more efficiently. If you find yourself writing the same email message repeatedly or giving the same canned presentation or demonstration, consider investing in documenting that same information, written or through video, so that you can begin sending it out instead of letting it consume your time. By utilizing scalable knowledge, you can easily scale your value. Next, appreciate and understand a different perspective. In the workforce, you will inevitably encounter individuals with differing perspectives on how things should be done. It's important to try to understand these different perspectives and not to show hostility or immediately dismiss what you may perceive as an incorrect idea. Our own experiences in life shape the way we perceive the world. In a hypothetical example, someone who gets a reward when pressing a red button will act very different to a red button than someone who's been hurt every time they've pressed a red button. It may be the same red button, but each person's experience gave the button a different context. In a more tangible example, say an advertising statement, "You will be coding in 3 days." It has a very different meaning to an engineer than to someone in the medical field. The engineer's mind immediately jumps to software development and writing code, whereas the medical professional sees coding as cardiac arrest. In many cases, you will not truly understand a perspective unless you've tried to walk a mile in their shoes, as they say. I've experienced this myself when it comes to things like, let's say, mental illness or anxiety. Before I began to experience severe anxiety, I didn't understand it. I thought that individuals who were afflicted could just, change their mindset or be happy or stop being anxious. Once I came down with it, however, I quickly learned that having others say, knock it off, get over it, provides little comfort, let alone helps my situation. The lesson here is that there are many times in the workforce where you will not understand or agree with something, whether it's an idea or an opinion. But understand that until you've experienced a different perspective, it may be hard for you to truly understand what that other person's argument is, and that in their eyes, they may think they're absolutely correct. It's key to attempt to see the issue from that other person's perspective because it can help you question or fine-tune your own. A more macro version of this concept is seen when managers, bosses, and even owners take a day to understand the life and jobs of their workers. Not only does it give them an appreciation of the labor involved, it gives them a better understanding and perspective for managing downstream. Although you may not be in a position of a manager today, having an understanding of the roles and responsibilities of those around you can help you better interact, make decisions, and ultimately work with your peers. In addition, you will have insights that you can help make strategic recommendations or process improvements that go beyond just your immediate role. As a final note on the topic of making the effort to understand others, make sure not to judge an individual for the long term based on a short-term impression. While I was younger, I used to play soccer on a competitive team with my brother. In one game, an opposing player fouled my brother, and at that instant I felt pure anger towards that individual. Fast forward a year, and that same player ended up not only joining my team,